Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We are here with Brandy and Tess, and we're going to demonstrate all the obedience commands your girls learned here at school. But first we're going to introduce the training equipment. Brandy's got a standard 6-foot web training leash, and she keeps the bulk of that leash folded neatly in her right hand, which leaves her left hand free to make a correction. And the only correction we give is a little tug and release on the training collar, and we know you have specific training collars that you like to use. So the first command we're going to demonstrate is heeling. Heeling is properly walking on the leash, always on your left, and the command is Tess heel. Now at this point she's got a job to do, and that's to stay even with your left leg, no forging ahead or lagging behind. And you'll notice whenever Brandy stops, Tess has been trained to automatically sit and wait for the next command. Now if she doesn't, you see, or you may have saw Brandy give a little tug and release on the training collar, and that's just a little way to make a little correction and to say, hey, you know what you're supposed to be doing, and that is to automatically sit. So she did that very, very nicely. And then the next command we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The sit-stay is a hand and a voice command. Brandy uses her left hand, the one-word firm command to stay. Now at this point, we expect her to hold this sit-stay for 30 seconds, eventually slowly working your way up to 3 minutes. Take your time getting to that 3-minute mark. When Brandy returns back to Tess, she walks all the way around her. As an added distraction, she stops at heel position, and then Tess is ready for another command at that point, and Brandy took off heeling with her again. Another nice automatic sit. She's a really sweet girl, Tess is. She's very, very eager to please. She's been a real pleasure, just like all of your dogs. Brandy gives her another sit-stay, goes out to the end of that 6-foot training lead, and like you've heard in the past, we always say you can drop your leash if you're in a fenced-in area, if you're working indoors, and slowly increase the amount of time. And now Brandy can call her out of that. The command is Tess come. She should come back to you and sit. So it's a good way to teach that recall or the come command, and it's a good way to teach her not only does she have to come back to you, she has to sit when she gets there, and that teaches her not to jump on you. And again, Tess's job is to adjust to your pace, not vice versa. So if you slow down, she should slow down. If you speed up, she should speed up as well. Nice automatic sit. Brandy's going to show you that stay command one more time. It's a hand and a voice command. With those stationary commands, we don't use the dog's name. You can see Brandy gave her that stay command again because Tess was a little distracted. She calls her out of that. She comes back, sits facing Brandy, which is exactly what we want her to do. And then Brandy gets her back to heel position, which is always on your left, and then they take off heeling again. And we try to practice with our dogs 2, 3, 4 times a day, amongst obviously exercise and some other things, but the on-leash training is obviously really important. Keep your training sessions relatively short. 15 minutes or so is more than enough. Now the next command we're going to demonstrate is going to be our down from heel position. Brandy uses her left hand, the one-word firm command to down and then to stay. With your down stays, you can have them hold that a little bit longer, so 1 or 2 minutes, working up to eventually 5 minutes. Now she shouldn't get up when Brandy returns back to her, so Brandy made sure she held that command the way it was designed, but then they take off heeling again. You can see her tail is up. She's happy doing this. She's a really smart girl, so this gives her an outlet for a lot of that intelligence that she has. If you can hear Brandy, she is praising Tess throughout the process, rewarding her. Down, stay. Again, we try not to use her name. The only time we use a dog's name in training is when you're heeling with them or when you're calling them. The command is Tess come. Brandy uses her leash if she has to kind of guide Tess back to the right area. They take off back to that finish command, and then they take off heeling again. And we always start off in a real quiet area like this when we're doing obedience training with our dogs. We'd like there to be limited distractions. The more distractions there are, the more difficult it is for a dog to pay attention to you, and that's what obedience training is all about. We want her to be more focused on us than anything else around. Now the next command we're going to show you, Brandy's going to set up for the distance down. She'll use her left hand, the one-word firm command to stay, and then at this point she'll use her right hand And if you couldn't hear that, there was a bang, like whether it was a backfire or a firecracker or something. So that's why, if you notice, Tess's behavior changed a little bit. She got a little distracted by that. But she did it very, very nicely. She's done a really good job here at school. We want to thank you so much for all of the years of you sending your dogs to us, trusting us with all of your dogs. We truly do appreciate it. Thanks again from Nora's Dog Training Company. We'll see you very, very soon. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Take care.